Right. You ready?
Ready.
All right. Whether it makes you laugh, cry, scream, or fly, there's a song for every emotion. We're Mike and Priya, and we talk about the songs that make up the soundtrack to your life. Because life is in the lyrics.
Oh boy, little listeners. If you are not a fan of Tay-Tay, well, we still want you to listen, but buckle up, because this is all about Taylor's new album.
What is the album?
Taylor
has a new album?
The name of
What?
What is the name of that album? Something about showing in a
girly.
girl. Yeah, showgirly. Showgirly.
It's really gotten no traction on social media.
And I haven't seen much about it in the press. Is the amazing thing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Crickets.
Press the right button. There it is. There. Well timed. All right. Please stick around for this episode, even if you are not a huge Taylor fan, just because we love you and we want the numbers.
Yeah. We don't care what you like. Just stay. We need those numbers. Well, we always want you to stick around,
right.
even if it's just to hear us yammering on about our lives. But yes, this episode is devoted to our favorite showgirl, Miss Taylor Swift.
Soon to be. Do you think she's going to change her
Mrs.
name?
Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
I don't think that's...
I don't think so either.
But, well, that could be her showgirl name, Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift will be, maybe on paper she'll have his name, Taylor Kelce. Taylor Swift Kelce?
Who knows?
Taylor Kelce Swift.
We'll find out.
I wonder if he will do the double hyphenate.
Let's call her after this episode.
We'll just have a chat with her. We'll just
Hey,
have
Tay.
a chat with her, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am like rip-roaring to get to it, but obviously we need to, chat about life, like, what's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, little listeners, you might hear a little bit of a different tone in my voice because I'm slightly congested.
You don't sound it, though.
I don't?
No, you sound perfectly normal. You sound Mr. Perfectly Fine.
Oh,
you like what I did there?
Well done.
Ba-dum-bum.
Well, I am getting over a bit of a cold. That episode that we recorded last week, I was a hot mess. I could barely speak by the end of it.
I felt so bad for you.
It was so bad. Whoops. And there goes the shake. All over the wall. Very nice.
Oh, guys, we're
That's
just
okay.
going to pause for a minute as I clean up my mess. I managed to splooge all over the walls. Give us a second.
And we're back. Do. That was our interlude.
That was me spilling my protein shake.
Protein shake. Why are you drinking protein shakes, Priya?
Well, Mike, I know we were talking about you, but I did get bored already of your updates. So I would like everyone to know, because I know that they're very concerned about my health and well-being.
Well, we have had messages from people.
Oh, God. Well, I went to 2 yoga classes last week.
Wow.
I did.
2.
I did. That was my vow, to at least do 2 classes.
It's true. Yeah, you did.
And I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also spent time, I made sure that I got over, I think one day, I went to Nuit Blanche. So I got 17,000 steps in that day. And I've just been trying to increase my walking as well, just movement in general. But I was very proud of myself for doing that. And then this week I was set to repeat.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened, you ask, Mike?
What happened?
Great question, Mike. Thank you for asking. Well, on Monday, Danielle usually...
Oh, God. We're going to go through the whole week?
No, it's just a one-day thing that has affected the whole week.
Oh, okay.
Danielle wakes up because she earlier than me. So she wakes up around 7 and I'm usually asleep until about 7:30 and then I lay in bed for a bit. But she lets Toby out in the backyard. So I was kind of vaguely awake. And then all of a sudden I hear, Toby! Toby! Come here! Toby! Like she's screaming like a motherfucker. And I'm like, I bolted upright.
Oh, yeah.
And then I threw my robe on. It's kind of like in that story, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, when he I rose from the bed because there was such a clatter or something. I jumped out of my bed and I grabbed my robe and I ran to the bathroom to look out the window to see what's going on. And she's screaming and waving her hands in the air. I'm like, what happened?
40-pound fox, right?
No, it was
40-pound fox.
It was a skunk or a possum.
Oh.
She couldn't tell if it was a skunk or a possum. And so she just wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to attack it or that there wasn't going to be some crazy fight. So then I get back to bed I lie down and I still have my robe on. And I'm like, why are my feet wet? And I realized that the belt of my robe fell into the toilet and I was leaning
gross.
over. It was clean.
Mm-hmm.
It was clean. But anyways.
You and your belts and toilets.
I have a problem. I should not wear
It's
belts.
a thing for you.
Belts should be banned from my wardrobe.
Well, just banned from bathroom visits with you. That's
Right.
all.
Okay.
Anyways, go on. You were
Anyways, it's just the fact that I bolted upright like that.
You pulled something?
I pulled something in my neck and it got worse and worse throughout the day. And by 11 a.m., I had to go to my esthetician because she was going to wax my brows and my upper lip. Let's be honest. Okay. God damn it. Anyways, so I thought, okay, I have this appointment. Let's just do it. No big deal. Then I'm going to just rest at home. There was construction on the road. And every little bump, I almost was crying by the time I got to her place. She did massage it, but by the time I got home, I couldn't turn my neck past this on this side. It was so painful.
And this, little listeners, was like maybe a 10 or 15% turn.
That was, not even. Like I could barely turn my head to the one side. And to the other, it wasn't even much more. It was like maybe 25%. So today I'm at this much. So not full extension, but I couldn't work out this week. Anyways, that was my tale of woe.
Wow.
I know.
Thanks for sharing that. And I'm sorry, how's your neck now?
I did just show you my range of motion.
You did, but how does it feel?
Okay, thank you. Okay. We had this conversation in a car that we might get into in a second, but
you didn't tell me about this.
No,
in the car.
no, not that part. But,
okay, yeah.
It is like 80% better. But yesterday I was like, oh, it's like 75% better. So I was like baking something and I was pulling all the heavy stuff out of the, and I felt it on the other side
good,
of my neck. And I'm like, fuck, just let it recover. Don't
do anything.
Don't
So
do anything.
all of this to say, you didn't go to yoga this week.
Not this week.
Right.
But my ratio, my price per class now is down.
It is.
To like $90 per class.
Nice. Yeah.
Since
That's
I joined
good.
this gym. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Well, it's a good start.
Yeah.
Last week was a good start. Little setback.
I'm going to go to the gym
Don't be
tomorrow.
discouraged.
No, I'm going to go tomorrow.
And let's face it. When you go to these yoga classes, all you do is lie there and breathe. And,
no, Mike. No.
Meditate.
Do you not go to yoga ever? Have you ever done a yoga class?
I used to go to Hatha yoga.
Hatha or Hatha?
Hatha
yoga class.
Yeah. Well, I think Hatha yoga was a bit Hatha yoga because we would just lie there, feel your breathing.
It's not as many chaturangas and all that bullshit. Yeah. But those classes killed me. I'm not going to lie.
All right. Well, are you done?
I'm done.
Can I get back to my update here?
What was it about?
Well, I wanted to point a couple of things out because I think we can say not only are we awesome podcasters in our own eyes, but we are ahead of the trend. And I'll give you two examples.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks ago, I think it was was our duets episode last week?
Did it air last week or did we record? I believe so, yes.
Okay. So our duets episode.
I'm just saying that I have no idea.
Yeah. I think it was. So we recorded our duets episode a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And then The Guardian published an article just like last week about duets.
Oh.
The best duets.
We're on trend.
Yeah.
We're trendsetters.
We're trendsetters.
We're trendsetters.
Yes.
Do you think they heard our podcast and were like, we should do an episode?
No, because what happened was we recorded it.
Right.
And then their article came out the day before our episode was released.
Okay.
So, but still
good.
We're thinking. We're ahead. So this summer, we recorded on July 6th, we recorded an episode about Songs of the Summer, right?
Yes.
It released on July 16th.
Right.
Well, July 15th, July 18th, and July 22nd, there were articles about Song of the Summer.
I remember that. I remember because I saw one in CNN.
Yeah.
I think Rolling Stone had one.
So again,
trendsetters.
We are on the ball.
We are on the ball.
I know.
We are right on the pulse.
We could be maybe influencers, maybe.
I mean, I don't like the term oh shit! Just doing that ridiculous
head
bop. Just my
Okay.
neck.
This is going to be a fun episode. Me with my congestion and you with your kinky neck.
Yeah, my kinky neck. Mhm.
So, okay, well, you referenced something a little earlier about a conversation we had today. So, little listeners, when we record weekdays, Priya comes and picks me up at the office.
I do.
And
Yes.
I appreciate it very much. And then we
We
sit
try
in the
not to
car.
talk
We're like, sometimes we talk about things and we're like, oh no, save it for the podcast.
all the time.
Yeah.
And today we were like, okay, so can we talk about stuff that we're not going to say on the podcast?
I said, you asked me how my day was. And I'm like, well, let me tell you, I have walked, what was it, 9,000 something steps and 7 point whatever kilometers.
Right.
7.38 because I made a note of it.
Okay, he made a note of it. Okay. And then I said, but did you walk to work? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, so then probably most of that was from walking to work. And you said,
no, because distance from my house to work is only about 2.5 kilometers.
and I said, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you can walk 5 kilometers just within a goddamn building. And Mike said, yes, I did. I did. And then we decided to prove it by checking the speedometer. And
Because we were at the red light right outside my building.
yes, and he said, well, what's the speedometer saying? And let's check it when we get to my house. And I said, okay. And then there was a pause. And I said, and which one of us is going to remember to check the speedometer or that we had this conversation?
Right.
So
And
then Mike made a note.
I had to make a note. Yeah. But the most important part of this story,
yes,
Priya,
you
is...
were right.
That's right.
Oh, my God.
You know, I don't gloat.
No.
Not
never,
at all.
Never.
No.
That's not the thing I was talking about that we had discussed in the car.
Oh, what did we... Oh, that.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was discussing the fact that I had said something to you in the car, and then immediately you nodded and said, uh-huh. And then immediately after that, you repeated exactly what I had said.
We were talking about a show.
What show were we talking about?
And you had said, oh, it's a CBC show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And then I started telling him what the skit was, and he's like, oh, yeah, you know that's from a Canadian comedy show. And I said, I just said that.
Yeah.
And he goes, you did?
Yeah.
And then I said, do you know how many times you do that on the podcast?
It's true. I do.
It is true.
It's funny. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just not listening to you.
I think that's clearly what it is, Mike. And yet somehow your brain is ingesting what I'm saying.
It's true. It's true. Well, listen, we got a lot to talk about today.
We do.
Because basically nobody said anything about this album at all since it's been released. So
we've got fresh hot takes.
Yeah, we got hot takes. And let me tell you, people are going to be... People are going to be so shocked.
How shocked?
So shocked at our take on this album. Before we do that, though,
right,
I have a song for you.
You do? Well, that's exciting. Okay, let's hear it. And then I can't wait to tear it down.
Okay.
I meant that in a negative way. I meant like I can't wait to rip it apart.
Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what do you think of that?
That was a very fun song.
That was a super fun song.
I have never heard of that artist before.
No, I haven't either. Okay. So her name is Audrey Hobart, and the song is called Thirst Trap. And it's from her, I think, debut album, Who's the Clown?
And her name is, Aubrey.
Her name is Aubrey Hobart.
Aubrey Hobart.
Yeah.
You know, she was giving me Gracie Adams vibes.
Okay.
Gracie Abrams vibes.
Yes, Gracie Abrams.
Yeah,
and do you know why?
Are they sisters?
She's best friends with Gracie Abrams.
Interesting. But their voices sound similar.
Yeah,
Like
it's a very similar kind of aesthetic and genre of music.
And tone of her voice, too. Okay. That's very cool. But I have to say that watching the video and then watching where you discovered this song, which was from the Instagram account of the lead actor from The English Teacher.
The English Teacher, yes.
I actually think the video he posted would have been a better video.
Brian Jordan Alvarez.
Oh my God, he's adorable.
It popped up on my Instagram, and the video is super cute.
It is.
But the song is amazing. And I was like, oh my God, well, who's this artist? This is an artist that I'm going to totally get this for our podcast
I wonder
and play for you.
if she has more songs like that or if it's just a couple. Okay.
Well, she has an album out, so I'm going to check it out, and I will report back.
Please do. Please do. I have nothing bad to say about the song.
Good jam. I was thinking that would be a great song for when I go. I'm going to add that to my running list.
Yes.
It's
That
got
is a
that
good
kind
running
of,
song.
it's got a really good kind of fun vibe.
For
and
sure.
I think it's
Also
got the
a good
right beats
dance
from him.
song.
Yes, yeah.
So interchangeable,
Mm-hmm.
as we were discussing last week. And
Yes.
don't you have a text? Didn't you have a text somebody sending us about?
I did. Okay, well, we'll get into it because
Okay.
my new best friend, Jason,
Uh-huh.
he sent a text. Where's my phone?
And Jason is someone you work with?
Jason is the husband of someone I work with.
Okay. Okay. Well, hello, Jason. And thank you for your comments because
Uh-huh.
we are always happy to hear comments.
We are more than always happy to hear comments. And
really, really happy.
how can people who don't have our phone numbers let us know what they think?
They could become our friends and get our phone numbers? No. Okay, sorry. Well, they could. But also they can slide into our DMs.
At the Little Podcast.
Yes, sorry, I almost
on
forgot it for a
Instagram.
second. And that is spelled the Liitl podcast
on Instagram.
Or they can send us an email at lifeisinthelyrics@gmail.com. It's easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Send it in, babies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Jason says that okay, I'm not going to read the whole, I'm going to read the whole thing.
Read the whole thing.
Jason says, okay, I have yet to discuss you with my bodily function experiences. This is referencing an episode that we had a couple of episodes ago.
It's many episodes I've
true.
talked about,
But I did listen to the new podcast. Really fun and welcome distraction from the world these days. I was thinking about the difference between workout songs, I'm in Dawn's camp here when I run, no music, and songs that make you want to dance. And I offer up a third category. A Venn diagram might be in order. Songs for intimacy, or in Priya's parlance, songs for getting down to business.
I would just like to correct that I generally call it sexy times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I know
I'll
because
let
I have
him
a
know.
business partner. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Okay, well, he'll listen to this episode and he'll now know that you don't just refer to it as business.
Correct. And I would ask him, so are you saying, because my theory was that songs that you dance to and work out to are often interchangeable. And so he's suggesting a third category, which is sexy times music. Are you saying that those songs would also be interchangeable with dance and workout music? Because if so, at what rate are you experiencing your sexy
Thumpity
times?
thump.
Yes. Thumper is in the building.
Yeah.
And I have had a jackrabbit, a jackhammer experience.
All right. Well, let's not get into that.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, okay.
But thank you very much, Jason, for yet another wonderful submission.
Keep it coming. Hey, and if you are enjoying the podcast so much and you have so much, comments to offer, maybe you want to come on. Maybe we need to get this guy on the podcast.
Yeah.
Come up with a theme. And we are going to do an episode on sexy times music eventually.
Well, maybe we'll get him on, although
maybe.
I'm sure his wife will be absolutely mortified.
Yeah. True. But
So we might
nobody
have to come
will
up
know
with
who she
something
is. We can keep her anonymous, right? No last names have been used.
I think, okay.
So.
I have mentioned her name in a couple of episodes, and I do know that some people from work listen to this, so they will know.
Okay.
But anyways, anywho. Well, why don't we get into it, okay?
Let's get into
Let's
it.
do
Okay.
it.
As anyone who lives in the world knows, Taylor dropped her latest album at midnight. Okay, this is actually the script from when we were supposed to record this episode, which was last week, but then Mike got laryngitis, so we couldn't record.
Sorry about
But
that.
she did release her album a week ago. And man, oh man, has there been like just overload of reviews and press appearances and teardowns of her album, and people who love it, and people who are like, I do not like this album at all. So I think this is going to be a really interesting episode. And we have reached out to some of our past guests, as well as some people who went to the Eras tour with us, to just get their hot takes on this. So let me just read you, first of all, what my goddaughter Maya said, because she stayed up at midnight to hear the live release of it.
Okay.
And she just said, Fate of Ophelia is definitely my favorite. Father Figure is my second favorite. And then she also said, I really like Wood. And then as she listened to it more, she really liked Wood. Yeah. I mean, heck, hey, I like Wood. Mike, you also like Wood.
Everybody knows you like Wood, Priya.
I mean, a redwood. Anyways, okay.
Anyways.
So, the messages from her have been fast and furious, just showing me all the merch that she's picked up and the
God.
CDs, and then her little wall that she put out all the posters and stuff on. It's very cute.
Nice.
And I just received my orange vinyl today.
Right. Okay.
And this T-shirt that I ordered that says, "It's been a long time coming, boy. It's you and
Cute.
me. That's my whole world. They whisper in the hallway, she's a bad, bad girl." Meow. Yeah.
That's not on the album.
That is not on this
album we're talking about.
No, but that was those were Maya's initial reactions.
Yeah. Okay. And you got some voice messages.
I
as
did.
well, right?
So we reached out to Michaela May, who we recently talked about because we went to her concert, which was really great. And she is a singer-songwriter. So I was like, let's get her impressions on this album. So we have a little voice memo from her. This, again, was immediately after her first listen.
Hey, Priya, Michaela here. Okay, so I've had a chance to sit with Taylor's new album. And I'm going to be completely honest, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but I've had a chance to sit with it and here are my true, honest thoughts. I absolutely love the 70s inspired vibe. I think it's nostalgic and fresh. I love this IDGF energy to some of the tracks. I can feel her effervescence, her lightness, her happiness, coming through a lot of these tracks. And I'm not sure we've seen that before, or maybe it's been quite some time. I think the track number is perfect amount of tracks. My favorite tracks are The Fate of Ophelia, Opalite, Elizabeth Taylor, and The Life of a Showgirl. Absolutely loving those. I think she's still at the top of the game as a songwriter. She just knows exactly what to say, and she says it in such a beautiful, clever way. And I just love how really honest she's being. Can we talk about actually romantic? So I think for me, what surprised me the most is that I think I was expecting another 1989/Reputation because of the fact she was working with Max Martin and Shellback. And I think that's what sort of threw me a little bit, that I was surprised at how restrained and contained that the production was. Because normally when we see Max Martin and Shellback, we get quite bombastic, big, anthemic productions. And I wasn't getting that hit as much with this, and I thought that's what we were getting. And also, I think the title and the visuals sort of called for something slightly bigger and more dazzling. But I understand it better now that I've heard everything and now I've had a chance to sit with it. And I think, honestly, is it my favorite? Not right now, probably not. But it could grow to be one of my favorites. I certainly think it's up there with one of her best albums. I think it's strong. I think it's honest. I applaud her for looking at a different sound and maybe not doing something that we were expecting, or not doing another 1989 2.0, because then that wouldn't be growth for her as an artist. So I totally respect it. I've always respected her work. I'm such a massive fan. And I think this is an amazing addition to her discography. I love it. I have to say, I'm not quite sure I needed to hear about Travis and Redwood and that, but I respect her desire to express herself, and I'm also very happy for her in her personal life. It is coming through, and that's what we love, is her honesty as an artist. I've always loved it. So those are just my thoughts. But Taylor fan since the beginning, Taylor fan to the end, and I'm looking forward to getting into this album even more in the coming weeks. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great podcast. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Michaela. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of cut that at times so that we could talk about certain impressions about different aspects of it. But I feel like when we talked about the album First Impressions last week, you said something very similar to what she was saying about expecting it to be more anthemic, kind of big poppy sounds because of who she was working with in the producing room. So I felt like that really kind of echoed your initial thoughts.
Yeah. I had very similar response when I first heard it. I was like, oh, this is underwhelming.
That's the word you use. Yes.
Yeah, I was feeling a bit underwhelmed.
Right.
Now that it's been a week almost,
My God,
right?
just
Because
a
it
week.
came out on Friday, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's Thursday today that we're recording.
So
It's
not
the
even a
following
week.
Thursday. So not even a week. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We have another recording, right? Another.
Yeah, but should we discuss any of her other thoughts on this before we move to the other one? Or so you said now that it's been a week and,
Yeah.
and?
Well, what I find interesting about this whole execution of this launch of this album is that like the launch of the album happened, but it's quite clear that she's got a very structured and well thought out marketing plan that goes with it.
Yes.
And if you look at social media, she's posting every day.
Multiple times.
Yeah, there's a whole series of videos and content that she's putting out. That's all to me well thought out of in advance.
Yeah. But she's a mastermind at that. She has been for ages, right? But I think I haven't followed her before. Like I actually only started following her maybe last summer, to be honest. Maybe like I don't follow a lot of celebrities, but I started following her actually when this album was announced that it was coming out. I was like, okay, I want to stay in the loop. And I was like, oh my God, the marketing, the mind behind this is insane. So I don't know if it's different from previous, like from her Eras tour. Was she also doing that kind of posting?
I don't know. There was so much other content. In my memory, this seemed like there's so much other content that was coming out. I think it was more the fandom was driving the marketing, and the reality was the concert tickets were, like there's a limited edition. It's not like there were a ton of available concert tickets to try and drive more sales. This is really like the sales on this album have gone completely bananas,
bonkers,
and prior to the launch, like just before the album came out, there were all these Spotify experience, Life of a Showgirl experience things happening in cities all over the world. You
mean the day of the release, right? Like they were pre-scheduled to be on the day of the release. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but they were all being built in like, in these cities that have where the temperature, I think it was Los Angeles or something, they had this big outdoor thing. And then when the launch happened, there were there's this whole puzzle to put together and these orange doors all over the world. And, if you figure out
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. There was this whole series of, if you clicked on Spotify and you did this, then an orange door would show up and it would give you a clue. And if you found the answer to the clue, it would tell you where the orange door was going to be in that city.
I had no idea.
It's like way more complex than my brain can handle.
Well, because she knows that her fans love searching for Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Well, I heard something funny on some talk show or some whatever saying, if you want the Epstein files to be released, get Swifties on the case.
Yeah.
Because they are masters at just figuring out the Easter eggs and following and unlocking clues. I had no idea about this Orange Door Spotify stuff. I did know that there were, obviously, like her movie was coming out, whatever, the behind the scenes. But I noticed, because I was looking last week, I was looking for things to do on the weekend, and I saw all these places like having brunch, Life of a Showgirl brunch, bingo, this, that. So can you imagine how smart it was for businesses to capitalize on this too?
Well, and so I have a question about how much of some of this marketing. Well, I guess she would have had to have been if it was branded an official Life of a Showgirl. But like the Spotify, for example,
for sure, that
Spotify experiences. Yeah.
But I mean, like Snakes and Lattes, the board game cafe here, they had like a brunch session, and they were going to have like trivia night, trivia brunch about the album or about her. And so there were just a lot of local businesses coming up with their own ways to celebrate the release. So I just think it's amazing that all these businesses have found ways to capitalize on it, which is carrying on sort of her legacy of like when her tour came to cities, the amount of cash she injected into all those cities is insane. And I just think that she still has the ability to do that even without being on tour. Like her album is now giving fresh life to a lot of local businesses, which is just kind of insane, but insanely cool.
So what else? Michaela also said
she mentioned. Oh, see, this is why I wanted to kind of like hear her comments in snippets. She said she said that she was surprised, of course, about she expected kind of bigger, more anthemic hits, more overproduced, like broadly or generously produced. I don't know how you want to phrase that. So she was a little bit surprised by the restraint, which I think is going to echo something that Conrad says in his comments.
Okay.
And that I also felt, because I felt like, it has like there are definitely like tracks that are boppy and make you really want to dance. But they feel a little less, what's the word? They feel restrained. They feel a little more confident and just like, I'm chill, but I'm still having a good time, as opposed to like, I'm chasing it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that has to do with where she's at in her life?
100%.
This isn't an angry,
No.
bitter, although she still has her...
She has
She has a
tracks
couple of
about
her
that,
tracks
yeah.
like that. But she's in a happy place. And
Yes.
she's in love. And
That's
all
what I
life is
mean.
good.
Even though she was in love on Lover and on some of her other albums, the vibe is different here. It feels more relaxed and comfortable, and just like I found my person.
Okay, so you just mentioned Lover. There were quite a few tracks that reminded me of the vibe
Okay.
in Lover.
Pray tell.
So-
Tell me which.
Well, let's save that and we'll get
Okay.
into that. Okay. So, all right. Well, should we
Yeah,
get
let's
into
hear
Conrad's?
what,
All right.
hear what Conrad had to say.
Hey, Bria. So this is my initial impression, but before I say anything, I just want to clarify that I'm not an avid pop listener. At most, a casual listener, so kind of whatever filters through to the radio, that's kind of what I pick up, or whatever popular songs I'm hearing. So I am a fan of hers, but I'm not thoroughly immersed in her discography. However, this is just kind of my arm's length impression of what I felt when I listened to her album. So my initial impression was that this is the most confident that I've ever heard Taylor before. The album sounds like an exuberant celebration of where she currently is in this moment, where she is in her life, and it comes through not just in her delivery, but her presence and how she explores her interactions with things like her fame, her detractors, and of course, like her fiance Travis.
Okay. So
Yes.
that's
sorry.
like what we were just saying.
Exactly what we were saying. It has that restraint and sort of confidence. And I love that he used the word jubilant. I had the word ebullient in my head, which is similar, but yeah.
And Michaela said effervescence.
Yes. So that same idea of just being so joyful and full of like the spark of just joy.
Okay.
To me, it sounds like she's unabashed and assured in herself. And this theme comes through on songs like Cancelled, where she talks about the fickleness of fame and ultimately finding kinship with those people who really see her for her and not just the media persona that they get fed. And then afterwards, she carries this kind of sense of self-assuredness on songs like was it Actually Romantic? And when I listen to it, the song, I can literally hear like a pivotal shift in her attitude when it comes to dealing with her haters. Like the Taylor that I've heard before on previous songs would almost sound like a little bit dejected for being mocked or like ridiculed. There was almost this like pandering for sympathy quality to it.
Yeah, I also picked up on that on this album.
I think he was talking about her previous works, though.
No, I know, but that's what I was picking up on. That
I
there's
see.
not a lot of this kind of self-pity stuff.
Right.
There are a couple of lyrics in some of the songs that say, the kind of like I cried myself or whatever, but there isn't a lot of like poor me.
No, it's kind of like I acknowledge that I had those feelings, but now I'm in a different place.
Now on songs like Actually Romantic, it sounds like she's staring down her haters and like saying, like, was what you said meant to embarrass me? Or like, did you actually think saying those things would hurt me, that it would disrespect me? And like, there's a resilience to that. Like, there's a boldness to her now that feels like so refreshing and honestly so long overdue. And then, of course, the last thing that I felt when I heard it was this gushing love letter to her fiance. Like, and it comes through in songs like "Wood" and "Honey." But even in the first track, when she sings about being self-aligned, and then someone comes along to save her, like that was presumably that's Travis. You can hear like a vulnerability to her as well on song like Elizabeth Taylor, where she asks Elizabeth if her relationship will last forever, given again her past loves crumbling under her fame, and really hoping that this one will work out. So all in all, I think like this. I think this record is a vibrant, shimmery, dazzling record. It's cohesive, not just sonically, but like tonally, grounded in her, fully embodying her confidence, and like declaring to the world like why she occupies the space, like the pedestal that she does, because she's just absolutely amazing. So that's kind of my first like impression. Hopefully, you can kind of use that. Thanks. Bye.
Aw, that's so cute.
Thanks, Conrad.
Thanks, Conrad. And the best thing about that is that, as he says at the very top, he does not really listen to pop music.
Yeah, but that's what he picked up.
Well, and I was actually surprised that he sent me this text just saying, hey, I listened to Life of a Showgirl.
Oh,
and
you didn't ask him?
I didn't ask him that. Like, sorry, I got to find it now because that's what shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it surprised me because out of the blue on Friday morning after the album came out at 9:56 a.m., he sends me the song Honey and says, favorite song, yours?
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh my God, you listened to it? And then I was just shocked because I did not expect him to listen to it at all. So thank you for giving your thoughts. That was the only reason I decided to reach out and ask him for thoughts because he's more of a country guy, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you both, Michaela and Conrad, for your voice notes. We really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I love that.
My sister just sent a text as well, actually saying Honey was one of her favorites.
I love that song too. Yeah, it's really sweet. I also like some of the terms that Conrad used, shimmery, dazzling, which the visuals definitely gave off that vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Way pre the release. It was just like she's in shimmer and she's just in her showgirl dazzling kind of phase. I also want to just make a comment that Mike had to stop recording because he was drinking some loose leaf tea and some just a second. And some of the loose leaves got stuck in his throat. So he had to go downstairs to get something else to drink for his ailing throat. And what does he come up with? A gin and Dubonnet.
Yes, why not? Hey, it's recording night. I like to have a little bit of a nice beverage.
I sure know you do. Meanwhile, I'm drinking this goddamn shake that has chunks of something, peels of something in it. Danielle, what are you feeding me?
I love it. I love this lesbian relationship that you're in.
We always say that people on the street must think we're lesbians.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I have a couple of other thoughts about this album as well.
Just a couple?
Well, one of the things that struck me when I've already said, when I first heard it, I was underwhelmed. I also was sick. And so I think that also impacted my response to it.
Yep.
And so of course, it's been 6 days or 7 days or whatever since it came out. So I've been listening to it a lot more. This is a kind of album, I think, that is not something that you're going to love the first couple of times you hear it. And I think that this has to do with the way the artist has created the work and the producers have produced the songs.
I'm fascinated. Carry on.
Because if you listen to these songs, there are some like, The Life of Ophelia and Opalite. Those are kind of boppy and they really, they got a good beat to them and it make you feel good. But if you listen to them more and more and the album more and more, the songs kind of get into you.
Yes.
There are a lot of really good songs on this album. And that is a huge change from where I was at when I first heard it.
I have to say, because we were going to record this last week, and I'm actually very glad that we waited.
Yeah.
Because when we were discussing after, when we were like, we can't record today because you have no voice, And yet he kept yammering on after.
Just go on.
But he was saying how he was underwhelmed and and I was like, oh, okay. I was quite shocked because by that time I had listened to it about 4 times.
Right.
I was home that day and I was just keeping it on in the background as I was working. So it had got into my soul.
Okay.
And exactly what you said, because you were sick. And so you weren't maybe in the right frame of mind to receive it. So this is something that Taylor said recently, responding to negative critiques about this album. She said, I have a lot of respect for people's subjective opinions on art. I'm not the art police. Everybody is allowed to feel exactly how they want. She also said she's witnessed her listeners adopt new favorite albums as they evolve over time. She said, what I often love seeing my fans say is, I used to be someone who didn't relate to Reputation. And now that I've gone through some other things in my life, that's my favorite album.
Right.
Or I used to be a fearless girly. Now I'm obsessed with Evermore. And I have to say that I think I related to this album and glommed onto it so quickly because I kind of feel quite happy these days.
Yeah.
And I also related very much to Tortured Poets Department because when that came out, I was not so.
You were torturing.
I was a little bit
tortured yourself.
gloomy.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that you kind of proved her point by just saying that, and that after you sat with it for a while, that it grew on you.
Well, and I've also, I think, I don't know if there's been anything about this online or in the media, but it seemed to me like a lot of what I was seeing online when it first came out was that there was quite a bit of disappointment in the reviews. And Rolling Stones, I think, was it Rolling Stones that gave it a bad review?
No, the Guardian gave it 2
right.
stars, 2 out of 5, I believe.
Yeah.
And they called it, they said, Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl Review, dull razzle dazzle from a star who seems frazzled. That was the headline.
Well, it'll be interesting, I think, for them to do another review.
Okay.
Over time.
Funny you just said that because I was trying to look up that review today, right before we were recording, and they have another article talking about the negative critiques, and they have 2 people in that article sort of talking about the disappointing lyrics and disappointment of this album, and they seem to be doubling down on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do, but Variety, Billboard, Rolling Stone, when I was reading the reviews that first came out and they were just glowing. So it's been quite interesting to see the divisiveness.
Okay. Well, this could be potentially a controversial thought. So a few minutes ago, we were talking about how, she's been able to, like how businesses and communities have glommed onto this Life of a Showgirl and have these Life of a Showgirl themed things in their businesses. People know that Taylor Swift, whatever she does,
she's a cash cow.
She's a cash cow.
Yeah.
It's a marketing machine and it's a built-in package. You don't really have to do a whole lot because she's thought through a whole bunch of things.
Why do you think we're doing this episode?
Well,
I'm kidding.
because we're going to get millions of listeners. Yeah. Well, maybe not after what I have to say next.
Okay.
So these reviews, we also know that Swifties can be fierce. Well, not can be. They are. They are. And I'm not accusing some of these reviewers of kowtowing to this Swiftie. Even the Guardian Diss article was pretty tame.
Okay. I
right?
didn't read the whole thing. I was just skimming because I was reading all these reviews in one day.
Yeah, they gave it 2 stars, but it was still
dismal.
Quite polite. And it's
They're British.
I know, but still, I also think that perhaps there's a bit of
like fear, maybe.
Yeah, and especially when they're like individuals may not be afraid,
right?
But companies that that count on making money,
it's a fair point.
Say good things about Taylor Swift, and you potentially have millions of fans, as your customer. Yeah.
Yes.
What did I say?
As your custom. Yeah. That is a good point. And
I'm not. And I'm not saying that their reviews aren't valid or honest. I'm just saying that it does raise a question about, what are they in it for?
I think there's definitely validity to that because she is such a megastar that For example, like if you're a Jimmy Fallon, you're not going to say something bad about it because you risk the chance of never having her on your show again, right? But for places like Variety, Billboard, Rolling Stone, they could have given it 4 out of 5 stars, and still been in her
that's
good
true.
books. But they were just gushing. And so let's just read a couple of quotes from them.
Okay.
So Variety said, "Nobody does it better now or at any recent time when it comes to delivering world-dominating pop that feels all the feels and doesn't stint on the thoughts either." Billboard said, "For the countless fans," this kind of echoes what some of our comments and Michaela's and Conrad's, "for the countless fans who have grown up alongside Swift, The Life of a Showgirl offers a settled, grown-up phase of the love stories that she's been telling for decades." Which I think a lot of us kind of related to that. So by pivoting back to pop anthems with humor, empathy, a little fury, and a lot of wisdom, Swift ensures that ascent will continue. Life of a Showgirl is one of the most grounded, well-rounded projects of her career, a surprise in the context of the hype preceding it. So, I mean, that was pretty glowing for somebody like Billboard. So Rolling Stone says, "Showgirl is the castle she built out of all the bricks that have been thrown at her. She begged on her knees to change the prophecy, and the love she writes about here did just that. She lost her life's work, but now the empire belongs to her. Everything you lose is a step you take. It's a lesson she even offers her lover in the Bridge of Opalite, where she sings, 'Failure brings you freedom.'" So I think that she's in such a great place, not just because of her relationship, although hugely, but she got to buy back all her music. She's been fighting for that for a long time. I think it's just, I don't know. I was kind of shocked at the negative reviews, and just negativity is fine. You don't have to love the album. But then the comments about the lyrics not being great, I thought was a little bit surprising.
Yeah, there was a lot of feedback about the strength of the lyrics. But I think that's also in part because the last couple of albums have been much more poetic.
Well, tortured poets department.
Yeah,
yes, obviously.
So, and this album kind of feels like a throwback to some of the genres, the earlier genres of her catalog, right? Like 1989 came through, Lover came through, Fearless, which was a really junior album.
Yes.
There were some songs that totally reminded me of that Fearless era.
I want to talk about that because you referenced Lover before too. So let's talk about which songs reminded you of different albums past.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'll tell you some of the songs that reminded me.
Okay.
And one of the things, when I had an exchange with my sister about the album, she also sent me a message saying, a lot of these songs remind me of other songs.
Right.
And I responded back saying, yeah, they remind me of other songs on some of her other albums. And her point was they remind her of other songs of other artists.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
we can also get into.
Yep.
But some of the other songs from other albums, I thought that The Life of a Showgirl and Opalite were very Lover-esque.
Oh.
Even though they had a bit of a disco vibe to them, there was something lyrically about the lightness of those songs.
Right.
Of course, it makes sense. They're love songs.
Yeah.
I mean, The Fate of Ophelia is a love song about Travis saving her, I think. And Opalite is a combination of love of herself, and an Opalite is a birthstone of October, which is
Travis's birthstone. Yeah.
So I didn't know those things. I had to actually look up. When I was thinking about why do these remind me of Lover?
Right.
And when I was looking at the songs and I was reading what people were writing, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, well, the other people have picked up on this as well.
Yeah.
So I wasn't the only one.
Okay. Cool.
There was another song from Lover, and I didn't make a note of it, and I can't remember what it was. But some of the other songs that reminded me of other genres.
Yeah.
So, Father Figure reminded me of Midnights and Reputation. There was some
those are two
relationships.
very different albums.
They were, but there was something about the way the song
I see what you're saying.
was produced. It kind of had some Midnight's vibes to it.
Musically.
Yeah, musically.
But lyrically, more Reputation.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But there were definitely some Speak Now, like Canceled reminded me of Speak Now.
Yes. The Fate of Ophelia kind of gave me like TTPD vibes a little bit. Sort of. It
Oh,
was,
totally.
Right?
Yeah. And Ruin the Friendship, Fearless.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much like a high school throwback.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
So I was kind of like thinking about these things, thinking like, oh, this kind of reminds me of this album, or I can see these albums in this song. And don't forget, Jack Antonoff produced some of the things that I'm referring to.
Right.
I mean, not Reputation, but Folklore, Eldest Daughter,
Yes.
totally a folklore-ish
Yes.
song, right? I think. So, different producers.
Yeah. You know, what I noticed was that, as Michaela mentioned, like there was a real kind of throwback vibe, and 70s, I think, is definitely the era, but different sounds from the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
There was Motown, there was disco, and there was, like we were talking about in Opalite, when she goes, whoa, that is straight from Be My Baby by the Bronettes, which was on the soundtrack for Dirty Dancing. Be my
Right,
be
yeah.
my little baby. Whoa,
Whoa,
So that as soon as I heard those whoa-oh-ohs, I was like, oh my God, that's from Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
And then Wood starts off with a very Jackson 5, I Want You Back.
Oh, totally.
riff,
Yeah.
And I just kind of love that. I loved that throwback feel of it. Because the 70s were very joyous. Like in the music, so many different kinds of joyous vibes. So that definitely came through.
Do you know what that's called?
No.
It's called an interpolation. Interpolation.
Okay, because they use that word a lot in the song when they referred to the song Father Figure.
Yes.
Okay, so that's like a mixture of things?
So
melding?
Interpolation.
Yes.
Interpolation is apparently it's different from a sampling in that a sampling is using the kind of like source music.
Okay.
Whereas an interpolation is an interpretation of a song.
Okay.
Re-recorded. So it's of a song. It's creating new recordings of the music. So it's not sampling an already recorded song.
Yes. Here it says it involves re-recording a recognizable melody, lyric, or rhythmic part from a pre-existing song to create a new original composition.
Right.
Yeah. So exactly what you're saying, but just more concise.
So, and there's a whole bunch of them outside of Father Figure. Eldest Daughter is apparently in an interpolation of White Horse, which was one of her songs.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Ruin the Friendship, Lenny Kravitz, It Ain't Over Till It's Over.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to dig into that. I did not get that at all.
Actually Romantic, The Pixies, Where Is My Mind, and Wheatus, Teenage Dirtbag.
Okay.
Teenage Dirtbag.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's totally got that. Wood, the Jackson 5, which is you've already noted. And then Canceled, Lord's Yellow Flicker Beat.
Okay. I don't know that song of hers.
So those were ones that I saw when I was like looking at information about these songs. Because, I mean, the Jackson 5 one was quite obvious.
Yeah.
And then Father Figure, we also know that she did... I read an article where she got permission from the estate to use the title of the song and also do an interpolation. So,
I love how she wove all those things into it. I'm telling you, the Easter eggs that this woman drops.
Well, I don't know so much if those are Easter eggs, but maybe they are. But
in terms of like how did you figure out all those connections?
Because I Googled it.
That's what I mean. Like, but you Googled it, so somebody had put that together.
Right.
Swifties.
Well,
I only acknowledged the ones that were obvious.
Okay, there's some other ones.
Okay.
So one that kept coming up is the Life of a Showgirl. Everyone's saying that this is basically a ripoff of the Jonas Brothers' Cool.
Okay.
And I did play the song, and I could definitely see why people are saying that. Another one, there's a lot of comparisons of Opalite and an artist, Louis Miguel, who has the song 1 + 1 = 2.
Okay.
And if you listen to that song,
okay,
and then you listen to Opalite, you can definitely see the similarities. what I think this shows is that, like, how some people, you know, when you meet someone and you're like, oh, you totally remind me of someone.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't put your finger on it. Could be, it's not exactly like, it's not the nose
Right.
or the eyes, but it's a combination of features, or there's something about somebody.
Or it's the way you move, or it's the voice. Yes.
I think the same can be said about music. Like, there's certain parts of music, or there's certain, like, the way some songs are created that are more ubiquitous, perhaps. And, you know, I think it's a bit different with music because there's copyright involved and that sort of thing. Whereas, I mean, humans, it's a crapshoot, right?
Right.
But I think I make that sort of comparison because I think when people listen to music, they're trying to connect it to something that they're familiar with. Like
Right.
when we see someone new or we meet someone new, sometimes maybe subconsciously we're trying to make a connection like, oh, you remind me of someone and that's how I'm going to remember you. And that might be in a subconscious thought.
Right.
Whereas there might be some music where you listen to it and you think you're trying to find a connection to something you know. Like, can you ever hear something you've never heard before?
Very interesting you brought that up because I just saw today on Instagram Charlie Puth. Now, as we know, Taylor thinks Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist.
You're right.
But he put out this video because I think to address the fact that a lot of people are commenting on, oh, her songs on this album sound like other songs. And is she, and so he put out this whole video deconstructing how there are only 12 notes. And this is why you might think certain songs sound the same.
Yeah.
I did not watch that whole thing because it was while I was waiting for you to come down to the car. But I think it would be interesting to watch that after.
Yeah.
And it's very true. Like there have been lots of, what are you laughing
I
at?
love how you start like, well, it's interesting you say that because Charlie Puth said something,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it was
And I
because
don't know
I
what it
didn't
was.
listen to the whole thing.
No, but I did not listen to the whole thing. But his point was that there are only 12
Yeah.
notes, and there are we've talked about this before on the pod where we've mentioned that there are certain chords that are like 3 or 4 chords that are just used over and over and over
We're talking
again.
about country.
Right. And they're all like they're not minor chords, they're major chords. Because minor chords have kind of a melancholy sound to them. So you don't hear that often in pop music. So I think that what you're saying, what you're naturally acknowledging is actually true. Like
It's part
it
of
is
human condition, maybe.
It's human condition to feel that way, but it's scientifically or musically speaking, there are only so many
Right.
notes and chords. So of course songs are going to be like, wait, that sounds a little bit like this. And
Right.
I kind of like when that happens. Not when it goes on, not when it's like a verse that sounds exactly like somebody else's, but I kind of enjoy the feeling of, oh, that's I Want You Back. That's the riff from I Want You Back. What's going to come next?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the song is different, but it still kind of gives me a kind of a pleasant feeling of
Yeah.
remembering another song that I liked.
Well, and especially when the songs remind you of songs that are likable songs,
Right.
right? Like that.
Or like what I just said, when they remind you of songs that you actually liked. Which
you
I
say
just
that?
said just before
You did not.
I just said it, and then you said right, or because oh my god,
Oh my God.
Mike.
I'm so sorry.
Mike.
What is wrong with me? Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Okay.
So that was terrible. I'm
That's okay.
very sorry. Yeah.
No worries. Okay, now I just want to say one quick thing before we start wrapping this up because we have been talking for a long time. But this I thought was really interesting because I did not know this, and Mike, you probably did. That historically speaking, the 5th song on each album is the most devastating, quote unquote devastating. This is what I read in one of the articles, and then I looked that up, and it seems to be the case. So then I looked up different albums, and I noticed that, yes, that is the case.
I didn't know that.
So, shit, if I could remember what that song was on this one. I think it was,
The 5th song?
yeah, what's the 5th song on this album?
The 5th song on this album is Eldest Daughter.
Eldest Daughter, yes. Okay. But anyways, so let's wrap this up because we could
Okay.
go
but
on and
why?
on and on.
Okay.
So the reason I say that is because it just goes to her process and just her how much of kind of she thinks in advance of her track list, her like how things are going to be positioned. Like it's so precise and well thought out.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's such a great example of her kind of brilliance in as an artist. Because if that's a formula for creating a song list on an album,
But that's her formula.
oh, her formula
Her
is
formula.
the fifth song
The
is
fifth
always
song-
the most
yeah.
devastating. Oh, I thought you were saying that
Not
that's
in
a
general.
natural formula.
No, no,
oh,
no.
okay, okay.
So that's what I thought was interesting.
Oh,
Anyways.
okay. Well, that is interesting.
Yes. Now that you actually, yeah.
You know
okay.
what else is interesting?
Right, what?
Is that I don't know if you knew this, but the fifth song.
Oh my
I'm-
God.
no, I'm
Okay,
kidding. I'm
okay.
kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, let's talk
Okay.
about, as we wrap up, our favorite songs.
Okay.
Do we want to say our top 3 maybe?
Sure. Let's do it.
You go first.
No, you go.
Okay. Opalite,
Okay.
The Fate of Ophelia,
Mm-hmm.
and then Wish List.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
with Honey
Interesting.
coming in a close fourth.
Right.
Yours?
Opalite,
Yes.
Fate of Ophelia,
Yes.
and Wood.
And when you first heard Wood,
I know.
you were not a fan.
Okay, no, it's not that I was. Well, no,
No,
it's true. It's
you
true.
said,
okay, let
Do
me
we have to
explain.
hear her talking about his manhood?
Let me explain.
Okay, please do.
So, I was walking Riva when I was listening to this album for the first time,
Right.
and we go for nice long walks. So this was a really good length album for that. And I remember we were on our way back, and I was listening to this song, and I'm like, "Oh, I love the jam. I'm liking the vibe to this
I ain't
song."
got to knock on wood. Yeah.
But then about halfway through the song, I'm like, she's singing about his cock. Like this has got to be about Travis Kelce's manhood. And she actually uses the term manhood in the song. But there's so many innuendos.
That's what I love about it. And double entendres.
I know. But the thing is, like when you hear her talking about the song, except for when she was on Jimmy Fallon,
Right?
she talks about it like, oh, it's about these, superstitions with, stepped on a crack and the black cat
Yeah.
and this and that. But then when she's on Jimmy Fallon, she's like, yeah, we started out this way and then
It took a turn.
Yeah,
It
totally
took
went.
a turn.
So it was I found it kind of, at first I was like, this is so childish, but it's actually a really clever song.
It's I love all those double entendres. And even when she says new heights of manhood,
Yeah.
New Heights is the name of his podcast.
yeah.
Right? And New Heights of Manhood, because she talks about how he put a ring on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He made all of what she had been dreaming of and singing of and writing of for decades, pretty much now, come true. And anyways.
All right. Well, we don't want to make this episode too long, so
We
we are
don't.
going to cut it off. But there's lots of other themes that we haven't talked about, so it might
I
come
said
up.
that about 5 minutes ago too.
I know,
Okay.
but I'm letting our little listeners know that we're about to wrap up, and they may hear more about our thoughts about this album
I'm sure it'll
in other
creep in.
episodes.
I'm sure it'll creep in.
We haven't even talked about some of the conspiracy theories about
Yeah.
whether she's like about to go on a long hiatus and, all those exit signs
Oh,
and the
she
rest
was not
of it.
happy with that.
All right. Well, let's not go there
No.
because we could be here for another hour. Instead, little listeners,
We're going to wrap it up.
we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
And before we go, we want to invite you to write in and tell us, what are your thoughts about the life of a showgirl? Do you even care?
Do
about
you
this
even
album?
care is the first question.
Yeah.
If you do, tell us your initial thoughts and then your thoughts after maybe hearing it a couple of times.
Sure. Yeah. Let's give them
'Cause it might
homework.
change. Let's
Yeah.
give them
I was just thinking, if they don't care, they probably haven't got to this point in
That's
the
right.
podcast. They haven't even listened this far.
That's right.
So, but if you are a little listener that has listened this far, tell us what you think. And you can do that by,
We already told them how to do it.
we're doing it anyways.
Oh my God.
Write in. You can slide into our DMs on Instagram at The Little Podcast. That's the LAITL podcast.
Right.
Or you can email us at lifeisinlyrics@gmail.com.
And you know what, Mike? I
What?
ain't got to knock on wood because it's you and me forever dancing in the dark.